Hello, my name is John Engel. I'm a certified arborist. Today we're going to talk about basic climbing equipment. We'll start off with the tree saddles. This is actually the saddle that I wear. It's called the Versatile. This is a different type of saddle here. Notice the leg straps, the D-ring that slides. This is where you tie your climbing rope in. I actually prefer the Versatile. I've got lots of different places to put my carabiners. I can snap in 2 carabiners with 2 different ropes, or 1 carabiner, or I can slide all the way across. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's on my saddle. This is what we call a steel core flip line. This is a really good device as far as safetying in. And in just a minute, we're going to go take you to a tree and I'm going to show you how to use this. But remember, this is steel core. You cannot be using this around power lines, okay? That is my safety lanyard, or what they call a flip line. You have what we call a speed saw. A lot of tree guys don't use speed saws, but I'm gonna tell you, these come in handy, especially if you get yourself in a tight where you need to have one hand on the limb and cut with one hand. You can't do that with a chainsaw. You can only do that with a speed saw. Get you out of a lot of jams. Especially you don't have to crank the chainsaw up every time you want to cut a small limb. I have my split tail. This is what I tie in with my climbing rope. My split tail consists of the tail rope, a double locking carabiner, and remember, anytime you're using carabiners for life-saving techniques or climbing, it has to be at least 23 kN or 5,000 pound capacity. Okay, and it will tell you that on the carabiner. This is a gold snout with a micro pulley, and I'll show you how that's used in just a minute. Also, on the back of my saddle, I have various carabiners. I have a figure 8, that's for descending out of a tree if I need to. Also, the figure 8 comes in handy if I'm in a tree and I want to rope out a limb and my men are busy. I can use that to take off the friction and lower a limb. I also have several speed lines on my saddle. It's all tied up, and this is what it looks like straight out. The speed line has 1,000 uses. Most everybody knows you use it. You put it around a limb like this, pop it into your rope, and cut your limb and let it slide down your rope. But there's a lot of different uses. It can also stabilize you. You can wrap it around a limb, pop it into one of your D-rings. It can help you to be stabilized. It's a great foothold when you're trimming a tree. You don't have spikes on. You need a place to put your foot. I've used them for so many different things. You can put a double locking carabiner in here for a redirect. If you're tied in over there, you're way out on a limb, you can flip this around a limb. Not with this carabiner, but a double locking, and you just pop your rope in here. That way, if you were to slip, you're going from your tie-in point to here. If you slip, you're not going anywhere. It's called a redirect. So the speed lines have just 1,000 uses. Also on my saddle, I keep a carabiner, a small carabiner with a throw ball. Rather than make a monkey fist, if you want to double crotch or recrotch with your climbing rope, all you do is take this off, pop it in your I-splice on your climbing rope, throw it up, come back down to you. You saved a lot of time, a lot of effort. Over here we have what we call a Prusik loop. This is for foot locking. This is for ascending a tree only, not descending, because it will burn up and you'll get hurt. Never descend with a Prusik loop. Here I have my climbing rope. This is a braided climbing rope. It has a tensile strength of over 7,000 pounds and a working load of 10% or 1/10 of that, 700 pounds. My rigging line is a different color than my climbing line. That way my ground guys know which rope to grab. They don't grab my orange rope, they grab the white rope. Another, it's a 1/2-inch braided rope. It has a tensile strength of over 7,000 pounds. Here we have what we call tree spikes or tree gaffs. These are geckos, they're aluminum, they're lightweight, very comfortable in a tree. You can stay in a tree for 6-7 hours and your legs are barely gonna hurt with these geckos. They're worth the money, believe me. We have our different types of throw balls. Here I have a small 8-ounce throw ball with some little zip line. I can throw this thing probably over 100 feet in a tree. Normally I use my bigger throw line. It's easier to grip. Probably a good 75 feet throw is normal average for that throw ball. I keep at least 2 throw balls on my crew. You get one hung, you got another one to go to. I keep the small one for long throws. You need your throw balls to set your ropes in the tree. Over here we have what we call a friction saver. This can be set for your rigging line or your climbing line. Once you set this in a tree, it cuts down the friction on your rope. Also, it's called a cambium saver because it keeps your rope from rubbing the cambium of the tree that you're going to be climbing, because your rope's running across it and you're going to cut into the bark and into the cambium. Cambium saver or friction saver, whichever you prefer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the saddle on. We're going to move over to the tree. I've already preset a throw line in it. We're going to set a friction saver, and then we're going to set the rope in the friction saver.